Hello everyone. I wanted to just kind of go over everything I did with the excavator this weekend. Everything's not going to necessarily be in order, just kind of walk around the property. First thing I did was rip out some stumps back there. First stump down, big old hole to fill in. That was a tiny tree too. I need to get this stump and that stump and that stump. I'll talk about this later, but main thing, I leveled this pad out. My mom helped me use the plate compactors to compact it and put down this fabric, and then I had gravel delivered on last Monday. That'll be enough. This past Monday. Then I came over here and tore a bunch of this out, thinking I would do a second RV pad, but that might not happen. But I basically just opened up this whole area. Didn't level it all the way, but opened it up, got rid of all the weeds and everything in here. And I'll walk over there in a sec. I want to do this first. Right here, I scraped this back. Gonna add gravel in here to make a parking pad in case it's ever needed. The tractor obviously fits good right here. There used to be a stump right here. It took all of 5 minutes to get out with the excavator, and this thing, with its backhoe, it spent 2 hours, mainly the first stump I ever tried with the backhoe. So it didn't do so well. Right where I'm standing is where that stump is. But we dug this down. This used to be flat. Where I'm standing from here to here was flat. All the way to right across here, all the way to that tree, all the way back here was flat. Must have been a fire, because a fire truck just went by just before I started recording. Now we got this one over here. I haven't heard that type of siren before. Must be a serious fire, because I don't see ambulances, but 2 fire trucks came. But anyways, I dug a bunch out of this hill. Like, this is a good 4 foot down, and I shoved it over here. And I cut a bunch of trees. So obviously this tree, that tree. There was a tree right here I dug out. That was actually this bank right here, right where I'm standing. And then it would just go downhill. You can see everything down there. Just basically threw everything down in goalie. Can't really see it. I'm hoping the tractor is able to smooth this out. Basically, it took a good 8 hours to dig all this down, smooth this out back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Slowly smoothing it out so I could get down the hill safely. I even worked at night for over an hour in the dark. First time going up my new trail. Needs to be leveled out just a little bit. This part's pretty good. I had to move a ton of dirt to get this right where the bucket is. It used to be flat, like it used to be that level actually. You can see where the bucket is to that tree right there. So I dug down like 4 feet, 5 feet over here. I'm gonna go park the you can this. I got to here, right here. That's where I got to, and look, between these two trees right there, the yellow jacket's nest, and I need to go put some powder on it and get rid of them. They used to be, I must have covered up the hole when I put dirt over there, and they got pretty upset. Lucky I didn't get stung, but that stopped me. My trail, I wanted to go through here all the way back along over here. I'll show you. Instead of going that direction, at risk of getting stung, I went this way. There were a whole bunch of trees in the way. Got another. Which one is this? That one's an ambulance. So yeah. Yeah, I got all these trees. There was these big logs right here. That big log was all a big tree up through here. It snapped off of that right there. That was the big storm we had right when I got the house. That tree, when I bought the house, was not broken, and it snapped and came down over here. And then this came down last year. This portion of this tree right here. So all this stuff right in here is new since the last time, since when I bought the house. So, and I basically dug down through here, cleared my way with the focus of getting to this side over here. I didn't necessarily want a trail right here, but I got one now. But I came back up over here. I'm not actually gonna walk up there, but there is a ditch where all the water runs down this hill right there. And there's so much water, it comes off the driveway across the road, that there's like 3 separate streams that come down this. You can see where it's kind of eroded the ground. Kind of like here's an old one right here. And so what I did is I dug 3 separate paths from the main outlets to combine them into one ditch that comes all the way to here. And eventually the trail from right there is gonna come around, come back down through here. And then I'm gonna put a culvert in right here. And then, or somewhere in here. And then the trail actually will come through here. And next excavator rental, or whenever I get one on the property again, is gonna deal with getting the path right through here. Up there. Kind of, the neighbor's driveway is right there. Just kind of parallel his driveway all the way across. Yeah, that was that. I came back down. This is the last night I was doing all this. I had, by the time I backed up and got over here, I had about an hour left of time, of 40 hours on the excavator. And basically came back up here and started cutting all these logs. I ran out of time. I wanted to clean all this up. If I had another 30 minutes. Well, I'd ran out of space on my phone and figured I'd change it to wide angle and make it easier to see. What I was saying is I've had 30 minutes left. Fortunately got all the big logs. And yeah, so this all either move by hand or just kind of leave it there until I have the next excavator. But that'll probably sit there for a while until that time. Yeah, and this is a pretty nice hill. The true test will be if that tractor can make it down this hill safely and not feel like it's gonna tip. That means I built it right. As I went along, I used a bucket and kind of packed in the sides. And I ran back and forth on this at least 100 times, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. So it's pretty well compacted. And it's wide enough to where even if the bank kind of collapses here, you can still get down. This is wide enough to where in this one spot right here, 2 excavators side by side could fit. I just have to this spot right here, I need to add some dirt. They go back drag some of this dirt here, they go level this off right in here, but I was pretty happy how this turned out. And I'll go to the street now. I kind of scraped some gravel here. This is brand new today. I did this with the tractor from the gravel delivery and the plate compactor. Just finally fixed my driveway. That's nice. And what I did here, this used to have like a ditch here I dug with the backhoe, and it used to be really unlevel. And so basically I just lightly scraped it with the blade to level everything out, kind of dig it down and re-flatten everything. And we'll see after next hard rain kind of how it washes. And then I kind of want the center to, be a ditch. But I want it to be flat enough so I could drive the tractor over here if need be. Basically, I came over here with the premise of there's some of this grass along here. I wanted to get rid of it. I hate this grass with a passion. Or whatever you call this stuff for erosion control for the power lines. I hate it so much. But kind of pushed in dirt here to expand this area, flatten this out. There used to be grass right here, this type of grass. So now my neighbor is nice enough, he will mow my grass down to here in the front property. He just has to ride in lawnmowers. He just goes back and forth a couple times. But now he doesn't have to mow it until grass grows here again. But yeah, I wanted to take all of this out, but I decided to keep it for now. Eventually, I'm thinking about putting a driveway in. Comes here, which is why I've dug all this dirt down to here. I might have gotten more, but there's a yellow jacket's nest right there. I'll show you on the other side. But basically back drag all this to make it flat. The goal right here, I'm gonna get another load of higher quality gravel. Mom convinced me otherwise to not rip this up and put stuff down here. So I'm gonna get higher quality gravel and just fill in from basically right about here, right where this kind of starts, all the way down. I'm gonna scrape all this up, kind of fill in this hole right here because the water pool's right there. So I'm gonna slope it that direction so the water drains down the ditch. And that'll fix that so I don't have a bump anymore, and proper drainage makes it look really nice with good gravel. But yeah, let's go this way. Still need to cut that branch right there. It's kind of in the way of RVs going, if that's gonna happen. I dug out this area here just so you can have an extra path to walk through if need be, or get in there or something. But this is dug down a lot. down a whole bunch of roots here. And the end goal was to make initial goal was to make a RV pad right here. I just ran out of time and basically decided I'll just kind of push everything out of the way to make it neat. Just kind of backtrack as much as I can. And this is how it turned out. I think what I'll have to do is, if I really want to do an RV pad right here, if it ends up turning out that way, or some type of road or something to connect here, then I'll have to bring in fill dirt. But what I'm trying to do is convince the cell phone. I said the little battery, 10%. Cell phone company, I might have to charge my phone. Cell phone company, cell phone tower, to build in a road right here that comes through here and up the hill, kind of along where my trail is. But you can see through here, this used to be all this grass in here. You couldn't walk in here. Absolutely. I've never been down here. It's the first time I've ever been on this part of the property because of this grass. And there's so many bugs today, right now. I walked down here earlier with a drone. You've probably seen some footage. And it's just miserable. So many bugs got caught in my eye. That's why I'm wearing these glasses in the video. Yeah, I have 2 dogwood trees right here. But hopefully Duke doesn't get mad at me for ripping all this out, because it's technically part of their right of way. There's a bunch of deer tracks I saw the other day right here. That's fresh. The deer regularly come through here. Basically, I had some brush, pushed it down right here, right there and there. A bunch of mosquitoes right now. I don't know why, because they weren't there when I was on the machine, but I'm walking around, there's a bunch right here. It's really not even sitting on her, but a bunch of trash that's been thrown off the road. Funny enough, that's my property. That truck right there, that's my property that they have that on. I don't care. But all that whole big tree right here and everything right through there is my property. I'm gonna turn this off and bring you back up once I charge the phone. Okay, we're back up from the top of this. I only have 9% battery left, so I gotta be quick. So the bee's nest is right in there. So I didn't work too much more. I didn't notice it was until I've already pushed all this dirt in here. So eventually this is gonna get filled up with dirt, I think, one day. This is rather steep right here, so I'm hoping I can get this made a little bit better. But then, now that we come over here, we take a left right here. Try to just start making the trail up here. I just wanted to make the trail where I could go between these big trees, and I didn't have to take down too many smaller trees. I didn't have to take down maybe 3 or 4 trees right in this whole section right here. So that's nice. Kind of scrape through a couple of rhododendron and mountain laurels, but not trees like this size. I learned that, I think these are locusts or whatever these trees are, have absolute terrible root systems. They just pluck right out of the ground. I didn't get a chance. I ripped this tree out last second as I was coming back down the hill to finish up the other stuff. That was right here. Basically shoved it over here just to get it out of the way. And I will chop that up myself and probably just use it for firewood. But this whole area has drastically changed. It's hard to even explain. I'm just gonna walk back here first. So this is where I clear this out again for the cell phone tower road. So road would come right through here. They would probably have to take out, I guess, this tree most likely, but they can probably get between here, between this tree and this tree, and they would come through here with the road. They would basically make the road for me. And then basically in this whole area right in here, cell phone tower. So I only went back there, down the right here, and then turned around, took out a couple trees along the way, and then I didn't clean up I ran out of time, so basically anything small enough that I can pick up, I didn't clean up. So that's what we did. I drove through here, you can hardly tell I did. I basically went to start making a path through here. And cleaned up a couple trees. I was gonna clean up this brush. This is right on the property line. You can see the orange flag right there. And I was gonna clean this up. Decided not to. If they do the cell phone tower, they'll clean this up for me, or most likely. But I came down through here on the property line, because eventually this is where I'm gonna have the ATV trail all along the property line. And as you can see, a gigantic brush pile, which maybe one day I'll get a what do you call it, wood chipper, and start hacking away at this pile. But it's a lot cheaper just to kind of leave it here, and it's out of the way. Basically made a few different trails for here, here, here. Took out every hemlock tree. There was one right here. There was one right here. That one actually came out. The root system sucked. There's one I cut right there. A bunch of other smaller ones throughout this whole area. Every hemlock that I could see, and pine tree within this area. So one still down over there I ripped out. Basically took them all out, because I don't want pine trees growing in here. We're gonna go actually charge the phone this time, and I will stop back at the tractor shed. Okay, now for the tractor shed. So basically, getting out of order, this is the first thing I did when I started. It was parked right here, and then drove over here and started messing around with this. There was a tree stump right here. Man, that was way bigger than it should have been. And it took forever to dig out. Almost hit my building. But fortunately not. I still need to do a little bit of work here in hindsight. I did add dirt back here. I thought it was fine. I needed to add back to here to there. So basically I'm just gonna scoop this dirt with the tractor and move it here and kind of pack it down. So this is all the same width through here. I kind of made a trail from there up through here. Dug out a couple stumps that are right there. The end goal is to have, when that board is right there, you can see that board all the way down through here, all the way to there. Gravel it with nice gravel, and so it's just a nice perimeter into the driveway. I'm gonna raise this up. It's hard to tell from this. There's a slope right here. This is gonna get risen up with some fill material, probably that stuff, and it's gonna get risen up. So there's a crown in the middle right here. But I'm gonna take out some of that crown. It's gonna be a slight crown, but not as much. It slopes off quite a bit right here. So I'm gonna raise it up. Basically, just tried to make this as flat as possible, even as possible, so the tractor could work on it. And this is the gravel from when I did the driveway. This is gonna finish the entrance of the driveway. I'm gonna cover that up later. But start on this side. Right where that root is right there used to be a full maple tree, and that took a while to dig out and topple over. So right there, and there was a big old hole right here, and so that got filled back in. As you can still see there's kind of a dip right here, but the root ripped out. There was a root from it that came all the way over here and ripped out one piece of concrete. But I think they just kind of poured a bag of concrete right here just for some reason. I don't think it was structural. No taking this stump out. That it's like 3 trees all grown together, poplar trees. But at least they cut that when they didn't all the other trees. basically kind of sloped this down just so I can hopefully work it with the tractor. That maple tree I said over there was right here, and a couple other smaller trees that are now right there. I didn't have time to put them in the pile, but I can move those by hand. I just figured I have the machine, go ahead and rip it out now, because it took me all of, like, cut that tree down by hand, and to even think about digging it out with that, even my backhoe, would take hours. And it took me all of a couple minutes to just like dig a couple on each side and then push it right over. It just took no time at all. These trees just yanked out of the ground. So now it's done. I have a couple mountain laurels right here that are nice, and a couple other things just to open everything up, get rid of the trees away from the tractor shed. The only trees I didn't take, of course, are obviously these. These are too big to take down. That one I could have took down, this oak right here. But I'm gonna wait to do that. I probably will eventually take that one down. I don't want any trees closer than this one right here to the tractor shed. This one, I don't know if I'm gonna take that one down. That one I'm not gonna do myself. If I do this one, I can do myself, but probably not that one. But I opened up this whole area in here. Basically every tree, there was a big old dead, pretty sure it was a conifer, what do you call those? The hemlocks. A big dead hemlock that ran through here, or somewhere in here, through this area, and how they cut it up in a few pieces and moved it on out. And between getting rid of the couple hemlocks over right here and that down tree and a couple hemlocks there, opened this up big time in here. And I moved, there's a couple big logs in this pile, so I moved those. I'm gonna raft one of these logs up in the tarp and kind of shove it over. But that opened this up a ton. I have a nice amount of space to get by this log pile now. There's a bunch of brush right here. All I had to do is just get on this side of it and push it right down the hill. It would have took an entire day, at least full day, to remove that brush pile down that hill for me, doing it manual labor. And it took all of a few minutes with that excavator, like not even exaggerating, like literally push it a few minutes down the hill, slowly down the hill. That's all it took. Yeah, as I said earlier, I cut some of this stuff. We'll walk over here now. The goal again is to have a trail. It's gonna come through here, right through here, and well, it might actually come through here one day and go back around. It's gonna come through somewhere in this area. I don't know, yeah, or I might have multiple trails and, you know, zigzag wherever I want to go. But this all is the start of that. And now I need to get a razor, UTV. But few stuff down here. See the property line right there. Kind of budge that a little bit. I started filling this in here. I didn't bother connecting it. I figured the idea was gonna make a jump right here. I was gonna go zoom up the hill on that side, come over here, jump this ravine right here, and then keep on flying that way. I don't know if I'll do that or not, but that'd be fun. Come up here, there's a whole bunch of pine trees and small hemlocks in here. I'd cut down earlier in the year, but now they're gone, and now they're not blocking anything. I think, like this hemlock here, you could see a bunch of white. I don't see any on this branch. There's a bunch of white, look like egg sacs, which I think were all the gnats that are around here, which is why I wanted to get rid of them. So the only hemlock left is basically right there, because it's not on my property, and that was a big one. And it kind of serves as like a privacy barrier from their property to my property, besides the giant pile of brush. But right here is all the wood mulch, all the mulch they chipped up, wood chips. And they filled in the ravine. They ran all the way through right here, and it had rotted. And this coolest thing, I don't know if I got a video of it, but it was steaming hot. It was like 100 and something degrees, and it was steaming because of it rotting and creating heat because of the rotting process, decomposition. But this took forever to flatten out and get solid ground, so it stopped sinking in. But still not right there. Still a big gap right there. But right here you can ride across fine. And here, dug out it was like trees, like two small trees like stuck together. I was like but that stump was huge. It shouldn't take this big of a hole to dig out that size stump. The taproot was way down there. And I made a gigantic hole, way bigger than the other stumps I dug out for some reason. I don't know why. It had like a really strong taproot right there. But that one took forever and tore up this whole area right here. And then what I did right here is I just kind of, brush another brush pile down here, kind of pushing trees and stuff down that way. But this is the plan, right? It said right here is going to be where the trail is going to come through. I'm going to come up from here down the hill this way. You can see right there is the property line, that tree right there. I'm going to come up either through here, maybe probably take out this tree here and come up diagonally and zoom through there somewhere. Not taking out that tree, but either it's going to come through here, which will probably end up being what happens. It'll probably come through here, zigzag here, and then maybe a small jump right there, because I won't have enough speed to properly go through there. Or I can just flatten it out. One and two. It'll be fun. That's several years from now. But I dug out right here because it took me all of a few minutes to dig this, with the intention of putting in a retaining wall, like a 4-foot retaining wall, then to raise up this 4 feet, be about here. And so that would be about level, I think, with this tree here. So it'd be raise up and level this whole area right here for like a yard or something. If I don't do it, then I can just push the dirt back in. Oh, good. I also would need, obviously, a wall right here to hold it in if I'm planning to do it. So that's why I dug this right here, just to get an idea. I want to raise up this whole hill right here to, instead of sloping this direction and that direction, it's just going to go that direction. So instead of angling down, it's just going to go that way. And so I tested going down there. That turns out even right here is just too steep to feel comfortable with the excavator, at least going downhill. Going up it hill is fine because you have more front ballast weight with the bucket and the arm. It's easier to go uphill than it is to go downhill in the excavator. But I dug out this here, so if and when I put a wall in right here, then I just get a bunch of fill dirt delivered and then sandwich the wall in, and then that will raise that up a whole bunch, and I'll have a trail that either the trail is going to be right here or right here. Actually, I might do both. I don't know. To connect and go down to that trail and then go down the hill, connect onto that trail system. Here I dug out. This turned into way bigger of a project than I thought. This was dug down like 2 or 3 feet lower. to get around here. The only reason I dug this out is to get around here safely, to be able to dig out a trench for my gutter. I wasn't able to reach all the way, and so I'm gonna dig it either by hand or bring the backhoe over here and dig out the final couple feet, and to bury some pipe. I'll go down here and exit out by this tree right here. Eventually we'll be completely buried. And then the wall will come in right here, a 4-foot wall. I'm gonna put a 4-foot retaining wall right here, and then terrace it back at least 4 feet, and then go up probably another 4 feet, and then raise the whole backyard up to that wall. So instead of sloping like it is, it'll be much flatter. And of course, eventually I'll have a deck right here, and then fill in this patio, so another parking area. There's not gonna be a lot of backyard, which is what I want. I don't want a lot of backyard to maintain. And I want to easily maintain, aka it's gonna be level and not sloped. So then it's just super easy to just quickly cut back and forth, back and forth. I don't have to deal with up and down hill, unlevel, blade hitting the ground, etc., etc. But I think that's everything I did. That's, yeah, I did all that. Oh wait, well, no, I didn't explain this when I was in the driveway. That's one of the last things I did. I dug out this section of the driveway. Because I was going to do this with the tractor, and it's just it was so slow. It's about 10 times quicker to do anything like this with the excavator because of the stability. I basically dug out this, dug it deeper than I needed, with the intention to put treated board across here to separate the driveway from the yard. So I would be like an inch or something above the driveway, just to keep the gravel in and separate it from the yard. And this, there was a big dip right here. I wanted to level out and kind of level out the driveway. So I moved a bunch of dirt from right here and moved it over here. And then I'm gonna fill this whole area in with ABC minus, which is, I guess, a slightly nicer version of the gravel I had delivered over here. And then this whole area from that pole to there, all this area right here is going to get that same nice gravel that's right there as like a parking pad. And so yeah, and then this is going to get that ABC minus as well right in here, just to keep it from being muddy and, you know, make it a nicer driveway. And this, until I want to spend several thousand more dollars, I'm going to just keep it as as grass right here. And then right here, there was a little dip right here from erosion. You can still kind of see it, but it's been mostly filled in. I back dragged a whole bunch of dirt. Oh yeah, I didn't explain this. I cut a path through here, kind of leveled this out. It was kind of it went dipped and came back up. So I made it flatter all the way through here. Eventually, I need to see a heavy rain, how it responds to how I've regraded everything. But a lot of water would be right here, and so I'm thinking maybe I'll put like a cheap French drain right in here, and then fill it with gravel. Right, just fill all this section right here with gravel, so then it's level to get. So there's not a dip right here, and then level to get into the tractor shed. But I think that's everything. Sure was a lot of work. 40 hours when you're working a full-time job, and then didn't take off the full week. That was a mistake. Turns out it took a long time. Yeah, that was fun. Hope you enjoyed the tour of everything. But I'll see you later. Bye, everyone.